Welcome back to Real Talk Sports with Rico. Today we are talking about NBA free agency and we're talking about the best signings and the NBA free agency period. And to help us talk about this, we are going to be going to the patented Yahoo Sports. I'm going to be looking at the seven uh, best NBA signings of free agency, guys. And so I appreciate you guys who have locked in and subscribed to the channel. Definitely appreciate you guys driving content. Let's go ahead and let's jump into it, guys. Again, we're looking at this article that is posted on Yahoo Sports, and it's talking about some of the seven best contracts or I think signings here in this NBA free agency period. And they start with Paul George. They say, look, this move essentially turned the Sixers from a pretender to a contender. Look, Philadelphia was good. I think that every time that I talk about the Eastern Conference, I certainly talk about the Philadelphia 76ers and what they can do. This move with Paul George and a couple of other moves we're going to talk about, I think it starts to put them in the conversation of a team that could maybe get out of the Eastern Conference. Maybe there's a path to where they could make some noise in the NBA championship scenario there, against any team in the West with what they have added with Paul George. But still, I think a long way to go. I think that they've still got to figure out a way to fill out the roster a little bit more for me. Tyrese Maxey, I think, certainly fits into this plan. Joel Embiid, we know what he can do. But they talk about the fact that, look, the Sixers missed on DeMar DeRozan. They missed on Klay Thompson. They let go of Tobias Harris, Buddy Hield, and Nicholas Batum. And so, yeah, I think that, the Paul George domino was significant for Philadelphia because it not only takes them from being relevant, but it gives them a real chance if they are able to get out of the East and into the NBA Finals. And so next, Isaiah Hartenstein, OKC. I love this deal for a lot of different reasons. One, I think that Isaiah Hartenstein is a center that absolutely fits with what OKC has done in the past. I'm thinking of a guy like Steven Adams. I get those similar vibes from Hartenstein. He's going to be a terrific pick and roll player. And I think now that Shea Gillis Alexander has a little bit more keys to the car since Josh Giddey is gone, I think that this is going to create some opportunities for Hardenstein to absolutely eat in pick and roll situations. You know, he's a pretty good defender as well. And I think he's going to be able to eat the glass like Mr. Clean. So I love this for a lot of different reasons. I think that this was probably one of the best centers that you could get out there on the market. And this reminds me a lot of what the Mavs did when they did get Gafford or they were able to get Lively in the draft. I think that this certainly fits the bill for OKC. And I think that this is why we love Sam Presti, because he's showing you that he's paying attention to detail and that he is going to make sure that his team is able to progress onward. And I think that the Hardenstein signing does that. Next up, Sacramento Kings. Shout out to the Kings. Okay, they got my guy, DeMar DeRozan, the king of the fourth. And having watched the Chicago Bulls, I would say it is correct that this guy was responsible for anywhere from 12 to 15 games that this guy just simply said, hey, everybody on the team, just get on my back. I'm going to take you to the finish line. That's what DeMar DeRozan has. He has the ability to close and to finish games. And I love it because with DeMar DeRozan, you pair that with De'Aaron Fox, who had won the Clutch Player of the Year award, if I'm not mistaken. So you get two guys that can finish games, and they can finish them in different ways. De'Aaron Fox is a guy that can get to the cup at will. He is able to slide you the dime with the nice passes. And since he has left Kentucky, he has developed into a terrific jump shooter. So he's turned into a three-level scorer. You look at the fact that they have DeMar DeRozan, who can still run up and down the court, and I think he is going to help them as far as that half-court game. When the game slows down, much like it does in the playoff series, you have a guy that has been to the Eastern Conference Finals and probably would have been further had it not been for LeBron James couldn't get that out. then with DeMar DeRozan, he's going to help you close. So I love this. All right. So I think that this is a great move to get DeMar DeRozan over here. I think this is a terrific sign and trade. And I think Chicago won in this deal too by getting some draft picks that they could use either for Zach LaVine or use it to build up the team. I talked about that actually on Bulls Digest. Next up, Chris Paul. I think that this was an underrated signing to me. Okay. Because Chris Paul has helped players get better in every situation, whether he was at Houston, whether he was at OKC with Shea Gilgeous-Alexander. I love what was talked about with him. I think it was Mike Wilbon who came on talking about this. Look, Chris Paul has been a guy that has helped everybody in every situation. He helped Devin Booker go out there and become the player that he has become. I mean, they went from not winning playoff series to going to the NBA finals. And yes, Chris Paul will rub you the wrong way because, sometimes this guy, he wants to win. And it's Chris Paul is not for everybody, but I definitely think that Chris Paul is perfect for this situation. I'm curious to see what he is going to do to help Victor Wembanyama. He's certainly going to make it easier for Victor Wembanyama to go to work. And also, too, I love the fact that they've added Harrison Barnes. So this is the type of roster that, I think that Coach Popovich can go ahead and build off of. And I think that this is going to help these guys out a lot. Talked about the efficiency of San Antonio. I think that that's going to go up here. And then they also, too, have Trey Jones over into the fold. They've got Tyrus Jones, it looks like, who's come back over here to play with his brother. So I like what San Antonio has done. Monty Morris, Phoenix Suns, not as enthusiastic of a signing just because they lost Eric Gordon. And I think that I love Monty Morris a lot. I had him on my fantasy team at one point in time, quite some time ago when he used to play for the Nuggets. But I know he's going to get more opportunities here. I'm just not really certain with the way that Phoenix is currently constructed, if this makes a whole bunch of sense. I mean, it just feels like they're adding another Eric Gordon, just not as a good a scorer here. But I just think that Phoenix in general, they're going to be strapped with the cash and, everything that they have tied up between the big three over here with Bradley Beal, Kevin Durant, and then also to Devin Booker. So not really high on that signing. But another signing that I'm absolutely thrilled with, and that's Caleb Martin going over to the Sixers. I think that this made a whole bunch of sense. You pair that with the fact that they brought back Kelly Oubre Jr. And I like really what is going on in Philly now because they have added some young wings that are going to be able to not only shoot the ball, but defensively, they're going to be a terror. And I think that that's what it's going to take for the 76ers to really go to the next level. They're going to have to defend at a high level, and they're going to have to learn how to defend if Joel Embiid is not there, which could likely happen with an injury. They're going to have to be able to lock up and make it tough on teams. And I think that this certainly helps with Caleb Martin. Here's a guy that has come over from the Miami Heat. He was in with the Miami Heat when they made their run over to, into the NBA Finals at one point in time where they got, beaten up there. But this guy can absolutely play basketball. I mean, look, he's won the 2023 Eastern Conference Finals MVP. If you're reading that, 19.3 points per game. He had a split of 60, 49, and 88. So 60% from the field, 49% from downtown, and 88% from the free throw land. So this guy can absolutely play and get it done. I love his story, and I think that he goes along well with what they're building here. I love the fact that they got my guy Andre Drummond over here. They just added Eric Gordon. So quiet as is kept, man. Philly is starting to put the pieces together. I think the real key for them is, can they stay healthy? Next up, KCP. I like this for a lot of different reasons. I think that KCP is a multi-level scorer. I think as of late, you've seen him shoot a lot of the three ball. He's coming in averaging 10 points a game, 2 rebounds, 2 assists, a steal a game in 31 minutes. But I expect for those numbers to probably go up a bit more. Depending on how they're going to play KCP, I think he absolutely can be a starter for you. Perhaps you bring Suggs off the bench to go along with Cole Anthony. But I like his ability to stretch the floor and his ability to defend. I think now you bring a guy over, and he's certainly not just going to sit back and let Donovan Mitchell go for 45 plus points on you in a playoff series without going ahead and locking that up some. So I like that with a 3-and-D complementary player over here for the Magic. And look, he shot 40% from downtown. All right. So I love that about KCP. I think he's going to get a lot of different opportunities. Now that he has Banchero over here, it's going to be that same inside-out combo. So I expect for him to absolutely go to work here. And so lastly, guys, I mean, that is essentially the show for today. We were just talking about some of the big signings over the NBA free agency period. Let me know in the comments what you guys are thinking and what was the most beneficial signing of NBA free agency. Super excited to see the Summer League. Shout out to Zach Edey and the people out there that literally did not believe in my man, but Zach Edey is doing his thing. And I must say, man, for a story, this guy was a guy that was not even in the top 400 in college basketball, got himself up there. Now he has put himself into the top 10 of this year's NBA draft and showing you exactly what he can do. I think he's going to start. I think that it's interesting to me that some people think he's not going to be a starter, but I absolutely think that paired with Ja Morant, that is going to be just an absolute nightmare for teams as far as a pick and roll situation. And then shout out to Khalil Ware. I think that Khalil Ware was a guy that I was absolutely high on coming out of the draft. I think that this young man is going to be terrific. There was a lot of question about his motor and all this stuff like that, but I didn't see that with the personal workouts that I saw. I didn't see that in a lot of the tapes that I reviewed with him at the University of Indiana. So I didn't see that. And I'm glad to see that he's doing his thing. Unfortunate with Devin Carter, a guy that I think is going to be a terrific NBA player, a tough start to start off. Tough for the Kings fan, all right, because I know his season debut is going to be pushed back more than likely with this shoulder injury, but it looks like, it's not going to be anything long-term. So hopefully he's able to go out there and do his thing. Lastly, a couple rookie notes too. How about the young man out of Duke? He's really struggled, all right, the center there. I think a lot of people thought that, this guy was going to be pretty good, but, Filipowski has struggled really in the first couple summer leagues that I saw. He was 0-4 to start off. He had a tough shooting night in the second game out. And, he was a guy I was thinking that maybe the Bulls would maybe take a chance on, but yeah, it just hasn't worked out just yet with Filipowski. And then, lastly, I like what Jared McCain was able to show for the 76ers. Here's a guy that's come in. He looks super mature, even though I think he's coming out after his freshman year. Every bit of a point guard, because you can definitely see that he is not very tall, but his craftiness and the ability to score, it's kind of almost like a little bit of what you see with Kyrie Irving, but not as much with the handle. I think he does a great job as far as getting to spots. So I think I was extremely impressed with what he was able to present in his debut. And then shout out to my man, Cam Spencer, out there in UConn playing for Memphis. A guy that he didn't go in the first round, but he was a guy that I was circling that you would absolutely go after if he was undrafted or in the second round. Definitely showing that his swagger definitely translates to the NBA guys. So I definitely like him too. So we'll be talking a little bit more about the Summer League as that is getting ready to take place in Las Vegas. We might be doing a show out there. We'll keep you posted on that. But for the most part, guys, I just want to say thank you for the sponsors out there. Thank you for the guys out there who've subscribed to the show. Appreciate you guys as you've helped drive topics to the show. And I will see you on the next one, as this is Real Talk Sports with Rico, and we're out. Peace, peace, peace.